Hi there, you're listening to In Their Own Words. In this episode, I spoke to Brighton-based trio Ate Arfa to discuss their roots as a band and their brand new EP, Akimbo People, which released in August. With their psychedelic, distortion-heavy sound and their DIY approach to their projects, the band have quickly become a brilliant part of the UK's southeastern music scene. I hope you enjoy the episode, and please make sure to go listen to the band. Enjoy. Hi there, I'm with Ate Arfa in Brighton.
Hello,
Good evening.
we're Ate Arfa in Brighton.
We are in Brighton.
We are in Brighton.
Could you introduce yourselves and what you do in the band?
I'm Sonny, aka Bones, and I play guitar and sing as well.
I'm Herbie, I'm 8, and I do the drums.
Awesome.
He's not 8 years old. I'm Arfa. I do bass and singing.
He's the main man.
How would you describe the music you guys make?
It's heavy and loud and rocky and
Junkyard.
yeah, that's kind of our tagline is junkyard dog riffs.
Yeah.
Which was part of a write-up that we got, like, for the first single. Someone put that in a write-up and I was like, that's sick. I like that. So now it's kind of stuck after that.
Yeah.
What's the best gig you've all been to?
One of my top ones was The Prodigy in 2018. I was 15. Arthur was there.
Was off
Yeah, you were.
at the Prodigy.
Yeah, in Brighton Centre.
No, I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were there.
I was not there.
You were there. He's lying.
I wasn't.
Yes,
I wasn't
you were.
there. I was
You
not
were
there.
there.
I would remember that. Was Keith there?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't there. I've never seen the Prodigy
Oh no,
ever.
I'm thinking of Jack White. Anyway,
Yeah, no, I was at that one.
don't worry about that.
Have you seen The Prodigy, or are you making that up?
Yeah, I have seen The Prodigy, yeah.
Okay.
Arthur hasn't.
I saw Queens of Stone Age at Dreamland in Margate, which was crazy, and all their sound got cut off before they played their last song. And Josh Homme like jumped onto the drum kit, but obviously he's really old, so he kind of just like flopped like a fish. It was really cool.
You've got a tattoo, right? The Queens of the Stone Age, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a fanboy. Can't lie.
I thought Little Sims was pretty cool when we saw her at the Brighton Dome, or wherever we saw her. Yeah.
I think another one for me would be I saw Slipknot when I was 11, and that was my first gig.
You released an EP on August 1st called Akimbo People. How long did it take to write and record before you released it?
I wrote most of the EP on my own, just as the band started doing gigs and stuff, which was the first, because it started me just writing songs and releasing them, and then Sonny came in, and we had a different drummer at the time.
Yeah, Harry Giles from Paris Blue and Footstop Head.
Love you, Harry.
So the EP was kind of written mostly off my own back, and then Sonny came in and recorded his guitar over like the demos that I made, basically. So the entire project has taken about 2 years to finish, but like the bulk work of it was done like 6 months before we put it out, and then the month before we were just like, oh my God, stressing like crazy.
It was a crunch to get it finished.
Yeah.
My contribution was obviously guitar, but I also brought in my old 4-track cassette recorder, and we kind of mucked around with that and did some analog experiments, making noise and things. You know, you can hear some of that in the EP.
I want to go through the track list and talk about the writing process.
Yeah.
So starting with the opening track, Akimbo People. When did that come about and what influences were there?
I can't remember exactly when the writing for that song started.
Arthur heard the song Psycho by Muse.
Oh, fuck off. I was doing like a bass video for like a TikTok thing, and I was just messing around with the whammy pedal and all the different distortions that I had. I wrote that riff. I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. I should probably make a song out of this. So I just started recording straight away and got the demo down for that. It was probably like the second song that got fully finished after Shed Track, and then it came out as the single after Shed Track, so it made the most sense to do it that way. I think it's the best song in the EP, probably. As it's the title track, it probably should be. When I showed it to Sonny, we were just like, whoa, and played it for the first time, it was just like, whoa.
When you gotta see, just let me know. I'll be coming around so I can take control. I am just a simple living soul. I'm so much more.
Moving on to Shed Track then, which is a collaboration with Dread FM.
Yeah.
Who's a friend of yours.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff in one of my old bands, Sap Euphoria, he was kind of coming up to the studio that we were recording at and just hanging around, and he did a bit of rapping and stuff here and there, and we were like, oh my god, this guy's like insane. So when I kind of felt like a bigger project than just a single was coming for Bones, I was like, well, he needs to be on it. We need to do something to kind of break the rocky punky sound and like experiment more. It was a really cool day when me and Flynn were just like hashing it out. I was listening to all of his songs and I made like a little beat to go into the middle of that song, which originally wasn't there, and I sent it to him and he was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Then he came around and just like spat bars over the whole thing. Just, it was like the easiest process ever. Do you know what I mean? And we finished it and we were like, oh shit, this actually sounds huge.
Yeah, it must be a lot of fun when you're playing the same gig,
Yeah.
because he can come and do his parts on that song.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you do it, don't you, Arthur?
Yeah, Arthur's become really good at doing that part.
Well, I think Flynn's a lot better at it than I am, but I try.
It's like his whole thing.
Don't you suffer?
The next track is Like a Dagger.
Yeah, that was the one we experimented with tape and analog recording, because Sonny brought in his track recorder.
I can't remember what tape it was or anything, but you know, we did this whole thing in the kind of psychedelic bit in the middle where we had this like talking going on, and then we listened back to it and we realised that what was being said wasn't like really.
Oh
that
yeah, there was
great.
a bit of a dodgy quote in the middle of it,
Yeah, and then we were like,
which thank God we spotted, because we recorded it in. We were like, that sounds sick, and then we were like, uh-oh.
Yeah, so we just diced it up and made it not make sense.
Yeah, we got rid of the not so friendly bit, and then the rest of it was fine, and it just sounded cool. And putting loads of effects and plugins and stuff over the top of it, it was just like, how fucked can we make this? Do you know what I mean?
My favourite part of that song is when the bass with the whammy pedal,
Yeah.
and then the guitar becomes the bass, and the bass does a solo, but it's like all just top end.
Yeah, because for such a long time, like the whammy pedal that I was using on the bass was just a live show thing, and I really wanted something on the EP that kind of reflected how me and Sonny kind of swap roles while playing our same instruments. Like I used the whammy pedal to do really high-pitched solos, and then Sonny will chuck on an octave pedal, so he becomes the bass of the song.
Boss OC3.
So we were like, let's do it in one of the actual songs and make it sound really jarring and weird, so that we like the points like coming across.
It's a good representation of how you play live then.
That's the motive with most of the things that we do. How can we make it jarring and weird?
The next track is Closer Together Further Apart.
That was the hardest song to finish for me personally, because it was very different to any of the other songs on the EP. It's a lot slower and there's a lot more space in it. I've never really finished a song at that kind of genre, and it's probably the most like experimental on the EP, just because there's so many weird things going on.
It's very Gorillaz.
Yeah. For what I was trying to write with it, it turned out exactly how I wanted it, which I was very satisfied with, because at first I was like, this sounds so bad. This could never be on the EP because it's just like boring.
I think it's great to have a change of pace on a project this sort of length.
Yeah.
So it definitely works. Mushroom is the next track.
That was the last single before the whole project came out. It's doing really well at the moment. I think it's like our most popular song at the moment.
Yeah, I lose track of it, but it's doing alright, yeah.
That riff from that song was written years ago, and it was just kind of hanging around on my phone for a while. Just hanging around. And I was like, well, I should probably bring it back to life, because I remember Sonny mentioning it to me when the first time I wrote it, being like, that's a sick riff. And then we just didn't speak about it again for ages.
Yeah.
And we started the band again. Well, you joined this band, and I was like, I'm going to bring it back to life, because it'll be like a turn back, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's throwback for real.
Mm-hmm. Arthur had that riff ages ago, posted it on his Instagram. This was before I was in Bones or anything, and I responded to it just saying like, this is a really cool riff, and it, you know, I never imagined that I'd be playing it.
The final track then, Headless Shoulders.
Knees and Toes.
You said it was the first song written and predates Asbestos.
Yeah, oh my god, I didn't even Didn't even think about that. It's such an old song. It was like completely re-recorded from the original demo that was one of the first Bone songs ever written. We re-recorded it and I couldn't get the kind of vocal sound or guitar sound that I wanted like I had on the demo. So I went back, took them from the original project and then like flexed them all to the new one. And it was so much more hassle than it was worth, to be honest. But
And then he employed me.
but it kind of, I don't know, it landed in quite a nice place of being where it was and the sound that it was at the time to fitting in with the rest of the project. We developed our sound a fair bit while doing that because I think we realised that we were kind of taking a step up by doing a bigger project and we wanted the sound to reflect that.
Yeah, I think Headless is a bit of a belter as well. It's quite heavy, you know. I like that.
I like how it flows from the ending of it to the beginning of the first track
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, well, I heard King Gizzard do it and I was like, well, it'd be pretty cool if we did that.
I mean, copying King Giz, you can't go wrong.
Can never go wrong, they've got so much. You're always copying them at some point because they've done everything.
Yeah, they have to. What, like 17 albums a year?
You said on Instagram when you released the EP that the project is about letting go.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that a little bit more, please?
Yeah, well, me and Sonny kind of similar times went through pretty shit breakups.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't get much more deep than teen angst and heartbreak, to be honest. But
That's what Nirvana made their career on.
Yeah, fair enough.
I feel like those kind of developments in our lives were kind of the fire behind writing this project and just like having something to let everything into. Do you know what I mean? It was just a big kind of ball of expression that we turned into something quite unique.
It's the best thing about writing music, the absolute expression.
It fills the void for a little bit.
Which track would emphasise that theme the most?
Probably Closer Together.
Yeah, I would agree, Closer Together. Akimbo as well, the title track.
Yeah. I mean, they all kind of follow a similar theme, but those ones specifically are kind of the most on the nose, I think. Closer Together was written like right in the middle of the whole thing that I was going through, and same with Sonny, I guess. I remember listening to it in the car on the way back from a gig in Tunbridge Wells, and I played it to Sonny, and Sonny was just like, whoa,
man.
that has so much impact, it's so emotional, oh my god. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I was on the verge of tears.
That means it's a good song.
Hopefully. Tears from how painful it was to listen to.
You put out a graphic novel when you released the EP.
Yeah.
How did you go about that and what was the idea behind it?
It was a stupid idea that I kind of ran with in February before any of the EP was kind of ready. I was just like, oh, it'd be quite funny if like the characters that we've been kind of creating this idea about are like actually represented visually. So I just started messing around on Photoshop with that, and I kind of fell in a bit too deep with it, and I was like, oh, I've got all these pages now, but I can't colour them all on my own because there's so much to do. So I got Sonny and Herbie. I was like, please help me. I've done too much and now I need help. And they jumped in and started colouring it as well. And we finished it like 2 weeks before the EP, maybe something like that.
But I was like, yes, I'll help you, Arthur. And then, you know, kept putting it on.
And then you forgot to download the WeTransfer link.
Oh, sick.
And he lied to me about it as well. He was like, yeah, no, I did it. I'm doing really good progress on it. And I called him and he was like, I have to confess, I lied. I haven't done anything.
I completely fibbed. I have ADHD, so I can't do anything.
No, that's fair enough.
And I've been in this situation multiple times in my life, but what can I say? We still got it done, and it's really cool.
We did get it done.
So was it hand-drawn or done on Photoshop?
It was hand-drawn, and then the colouring was partly hand-coloured, partly digitally coloured.
Herbie's pointing at himself. Do you do a lot of it, Herbie?
I hand-coloured 4 pages, and they were the
Whoa.
best 4 pages on that thing.
Well, that's debatable.
Which 4? I'll show like a picture of them.
You got the scene in the desert where Sonny and Arthur are facing the Akimbo people, and then the next 2 pages where lightning is striking and it's going crazy, and then there's another page.
You did like the main fight scene and stuff, didn't you?
I feel very privileged that I've got my own mic and you two have to share.
Yeah, whatever.
You could trade every now and then. It's your choice, really.
Give me that.
Could you tell me a bit about the equipment you use on stage? Is there any pedals you've got that you just use for everything because they're just brilliant?
I've got a Line 6 HX Stomp, and I spent half of one of my student loan installments on that thing, and it's digital. It's literally incredible. You can pretty much produce your tone and save it. Yeah, you take it to a gig and it's all still there, so you know you can really kind of like work out your tone and get it right, and it's always the same.
I had one of the classic whammy 4s, and then I changed to a Ricochet because it just like died in like the middle of it. We were doing BBC Introducing live session,
That's like the worst one for it to go out as well.
Yeah, it just started making this really weird noise, and I was like, oh, it's the most expensive pedal I had on my board, so replacing it was a bit shit.
Didn't it happen right before we were about to play?
Happened in the middle of us playing.
Even better.
It was so long.
Yeah, you do a lot of octave changes.
Yeah, that's that pedal that does that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I use a Big Muff, what's it called? Like the little pickle? Or the green Russian Big
Green
Muff,
Russian, yeah.
which is like the craziest bass pedal ever. It's just like, like an explosion.
Nuclear tone.
These shoes are pretty wicked for heel toe. I won't go a gig without them. DBS, chunky boys. That's all I got to say.
Let's go. When did you start drumming properly for the band?
I think it was like 6 months ago now.
Yeah, it was like February, March kind of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've practiced like 4 times since then, and it's been a lot of fun.
He kind of joined at the time when we were like starting to do a ridiculous amount of gigs. So we did like 2 rehearsals before or was it just 1 before we played with you at Rossi Bar?
We did one at our house in like a little room with an electric drum kit.
Yeah, it was like the shoddiest thing ever.
It's like a cupboard.
But I guess you can practice them in your own time if you've got demos to rehearse to.
Totally.
And then we just kept gigging so much that it was like, these kind of are our rehearsals now, I guess. Because we didn't have time outside of work and gigging to book in any rehearsals at all.
I guess if you do so many gigs, you don't really need to rehearse that frequently.
Yeah.
Unless you want to write stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like 3 dress rehearsals a week, basically, with the amount of gigs we were doing.
You were touring for most of August, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just went so quick. It just felt like summer was happening. Then we went on tour, and then now it's winter. Feels like winter.
What was the furthest you did from home?
Northampton, I think, was the furthest we went. We'd been there before though, so that didn't feel crazy.
Maybe Lakefest.
Lakefest was the weirdest time. That was our first proper festival gig.
Yeah.
Just like in the middle of nowhere at a field we'd never been to before. And Ollie Murs was the headliner and like Libertines and stuff. So it was we didn't really fit in very well.
Well, I mean, a lot old blokes at pubs say that I look like Pete Doherty. I don't know if it's a compliment.
You don't look like him anymore. He looks awful.
Bless him.
Who are your biggest inspirations? I suppose we touched on it a little bit with Queens of the Stone Age, but...
Yeah, massively Queens of the Stone Age and a lot of Gorillaz, specifically for me and Herbie, because we grew up listening to Songs for the Deaf and Gorillaz' self-titled album and Demon Days a lot. Yeah, Plastic Beach as well. Just huge influence there.
I'm a Foo Fighters boy.
Oh, right, yeah.
Still, after his adultery.
Oh, God, that's current, isn't it?
No, dear. Come on, Dave.
Pack it in, Dave.
Pack it in. Give it a rest.
It's rock and roll.
If you could fight any musician, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ozzy Osbourne, because it'd be like taking candy from a baby.
No, I think he's got like some weapons hidden away.
I'd fight Arthur Wilson.
Oh, what?
Just some internal beef going on.
Why?
Because I can, mate. And what are you going to do about it?
I'd fight Jack Black because I think it'd be really funny.
Yeah, but he'll devise a plan.
No, but it'd be like Kung Fu Panda and he'd be like, time to kick some butt. And I'd be like, oh no, we're really screwed this time. Also, like, it'd be so much clout. Could you believe it?
There would be much clout involved.
You beat Poe in a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
That's sick.
I think maybe then we'd get signed.
How long have you all been playing your instruments?
9 painful years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Painful.
Started at 7.
Snap.
I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old. Started singing when I was about 14. I used to play the drums, but unlike these two, I had to stop because of the neighbours.
My first instrument was drums, and I started when I was 7, I think, maybe 8, something like that. But I started playing guitar when I was 10, and then kind of transitioned to bass from that.
Bass is more fun.
Yeah, you can beat it up. It's like the perfect middle ground between a drum kit and a
Pretend
guitar.
it's Jack Black.
Have you got any other bands that you're in? You're in Mindframe, right, Sonny?
Yeah, Mindframe, yeah. We've got some stuff coming up. It's been a bit quiet as of recently, but, you know, it's still kicking.
And you're playing tonight in Modessa, is it?
Yeah, I drum in a band called Modessa.
I'm in a couple jazz bands, or was at least. I'm in one jazz band now, and a couple other little things. Big up Earwig.
Chili Bowl.
Chili
forever.
Bowl.
Gone but never fueled.
What is your favourite song to perform?
Probably Sniffer Dogs.
Sniffer Dogs, yeah.
I like Akimbo People the most. It's one of the only songs that we drop tune to, and when the bass comes in on that song, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah,
It's so low and it's so boomy. It's just like,
It's so loud.
He can't help himself.
Yeah, it's like closer with Akimbo People now, right?
yeah.
I'll probably say Shred Track, because when we play it live, I've got a solo, and it's rad.
Yeah. It's slightly different to the recording.
Radical.
Is there anything you've got planned going forwards that you'd like to discuss or put out there?
We've started writing a new project. It's just demos at the moment, but we're hopefully going to get that out beginning of next year, around that kind of time. Just more releasing, more gigging. We've got some cool stuff lined up over the coming weeks. Oh yeah, we've got a gig with Mike Stoyanov as well. Big up Stoyadelica.
He's a new king of rock and roll.
He is actually.
Ooh.
He's the best thing since the Strokes apparently. So,
I thought Jack White was pretty good.
huh?
Jack White not pretty good. That's what
No.
I've heard people calling him, the new king of rock and roll. I don't know.
Jack who?
Jack who?
He's not Stoyadelic, man.
You're pretty active as like a band releasing things
Yeah.
every now and then. You have a single that comes out. You're pretty big on collaboration as well, I feel.
We're just pretty open to anything. I think we don't like being precious about much, so we're pretty open to experimenting and just getting shit out when it's ready. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all just DIY, just going for it, cut and run. You know.
Yeah.
That's everything then. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you ever so much.
So where can you be found online if people want to go and find you? What pages have you got?
On socials and stuff, we're Bones_8_Arfa. On Spotify, we're just Bones 8 Arfa, and all Apple Music and whatnot is the same.
Wicked.
Yeah, go find us on Bandcamp and buy our stuff, please, because we're poor and we need it.
Yeah, brilliant. That's everything. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Legend. Cheers.